It is block height 323,552. Let's take a look at what the Merkle root is today, children. It is 2CAE89F. Oh, I like it when we get 3 letters in a row. It's really nice when it does that. So today it is the tyranny of the minority. In fact, there was Blake Anderson with us, and then Blake's just kind of left. And now we're just left with Theo, Tom, and me, Chris Ellis. This is supposed to be Town Hall number 7, and a bunch of people that said they'd be here haven't turned up. So we're going ahead. The show must go on in any case. And so we're going to be ripping it up. We're going to be doing all kinds of crazy, innovative, edgy stuff on this show. We're going to be coming out with some 3.0 products. Is that right, Theo?
Oh, no. 3.0 is old.
What are we up to?
You're way behind. We're way beyond 3.0. And anyway, so what it is that we're at 3.0 now because you don't start counting with 0. Oh, no, wait. No, you start counting with 0 in computer stuff, right? No, I'm wrong. Okay, so really 2.0 is 3.0. So we're already at 3.0. You just haven't realized it. And so the next one is 4.0, and that's what we're doing. So you have to understand that first. Well, you mean about like creating a new algorithm, like
algorithm
X452.1 proof of Perl, and we'll have Perl ring signatures that are new levels of anonymous. Now we need to get serious. This is a town hall meeting. We need a gavel.
Yeah, we do.
Town hall meeting, or like a crypto
on
gavel.
The agenda.
A crypto gavel or something, and anyone can, or like how you have those hand things at Occupy. It's like we can get like our own one, so you don't have to be loud or interrupt people. I mean, you could just do that. I guess people will see you, but something like that. Okay, but we actually have an agenda, right?
Yeah, we actually do have an agenda. We're like the Murdoch media empire. We've got this massive agenda. Big difference though. This is Murdoch 3.0, so it means that we're totally transparent with it. But not before we raise a load of money. I was thinking we could just float this shit and just raise shit tons of money and then just walk off and hope everyone forgets about it and keep doing it. Anyway, all right, okay, so enough of the funnies. So earlier in the week, I met up with Chris McCready, who has been moving offices, which is why he wasn't able to do our website sooner. But he has put together basic kind of template based on that WordPress website that we looked at, the plugin that we found. But what he's done is he's just ripped out all the unnecessaries and just kind of left it. So this is just flat HTML. And so you've got this white version, which underneath like has the comments like so, and then he's also shown it this up on in black as well. I don't know what that pop-up was just there. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't have the comments below it. Does still have the lovely Trollbox on the right though, and it has and you might also like kind of strip down the bottom. Oh no, wait, that isn't you might almost like, that's the schedule, sorry. So that actually shows you in chronological order what the shows that have just been up, and then I guess it'll also show you what will be coming up. And then obviously you've got the search field, and then in this space here we're going about section. So which do we like? The not that we can make an executive decision here because there aren't enough people, but black or white?
The white one.
Okay. Well, that's it. We got consensus, everyone. It's the white one.
Go for it. I'm flexible.
The people have spoken.
I guess you get it's a little more friendly, the white one.
Yeah.
I guess. The black, I like black a lot, but I think that it's a little bit more friendly. The black one is pretty hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So white it is. The people have spoken. That's democracy in action, everyone. Democracy in action.
Yeah.
We have a majority consensus view. You got to turn up to have your say, though. So yeah, let's see if Chris actually joins us. But we also had, where else we got? Oh yeah, so here also on the Reddit, reddit.com/r/World Crypto Network. I've just posted up my meeting audio with Chris McCready the other day. I did. I didn't timestamp it in the blockchain proper, but I did like read out the Merkle root and stuff. So you can sync it up with your blockchain and say, oh well, I know exactly where I was right there. And then the timestamps of the meeting are below. So we have to make a decision as to whether or not we should make a temporary site to tie us over. And he said, do you just want to make one properly, like, because the thing is, a lot of the stuff that we talked about in our brainstorming session that we wanted to do isn't going to be easy. So it's going to take him time to like build into the YouTube API and stuff. And also, like, we wanted to do stuff with web torrents so that we could host our shows on BitTorrent and then have it stream over the web, which you can do without any plugins at all. It can be done straight into using Node.js, which is JavaScript on the server. So he said, do you just want a temporary website that's better than what you've got at the moment? And I said, yes, I think that's probably a good idea. Oops, that's not what I'm looking for. So what do you guys think? Do you agree? I mean, obviously,
yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that I really like, the idea of doing, going all out and doing like, web torrent and all that stuff, or I don't know if we're going to do a .bit or whatever, but I think that, in the meantime, we can have a normal, quote, normal page and just get it going. The main thing is that people can access it, and and the Trollbox thing, that could be cool. It could be trolly, but it's interaction.
I love the trolls.
Yeah, but it's interaction. It's cool. Yeah, totally. It's interaction. So I think just get it up, get it going, and then step by step implement this other stuff like torrent or whatever ideas we have, I think.
Okay, and then now, where do we want so you just mentioned the Trollbox, where do we want the discussion to be? Because at the moment, when we go over to this new one, we're going to have 3 touch points for the comments. We're going to have the comments underneath the video, the Q&A, which is what we've got already, and then we're going to have the Trollbox as well. Do we want to get rid of Q&A and just focus everything on the Trollbox, which would then incentivize more people to visit our homepage, and maybe we like that? Or where should we draw the focus of the discussion?
You mean Q&A in Google Hangouts? Don't do that.
That's what the idea would be, is you would focus, it's a question, would you focus the discussion in the Trollbox instead of the Q&A, or would you do both, or how would you want to do it?
Well, I think that you'd have to train people. I mean, I think we could say, hey, go to our Trollbox because it's cool, or maybe there would actually be a few people hanging out there all the time, even if there's not a show live. But I mean, you'd still have to check the questions, because if you're going to use Google Hangouts, then people might just ask questions. They might not hear about the Trollbox until midway through the show or something. You know what I mean? So you still have to leave both.
What I don't want to do is split the experience up into 2 places where some people want to be there.
You mean like Trollbox, Reddit, Podio, and Q&A too?
Yeah.
And hey, let's get a forum going while we're at it.
Yeah.
Well, so the Q&As on YouTube, you can also, that tags it in the video, so that you can watch the video just looking at the question.
I'm tempted to keep the Q&A. The only problem I find frustrating with Q&A is, you don't get very many characters to have your say, so a lot of people split it out over lots of statements. And also, as a host, I can't talk back to people because you've got that annoying 30-second delay. I can't type in, like, if there's a link I want to direct them to, I can't just type it in right there and just give everyone the link. Whereas if you've got a more interactive Trollbox, you can actually have more nuanced kind of like, oh yeah, and here's the link to what I just said and stuff. I think it depends on how sophisticated the Trollbox is. If the Trollbox can stay with the video, that would be enough. Like, because even after it becomes historical, the Q&A still stays with the video, which is really nice. So I think at the moment I would err on keeping the discussion in the Q&A as per normal. But if Chris can really pull a cat out the bag and actually say, yeah, actually we can make the Trollbox kind of funky and make it so that it can, even when you watch the video, 2 years later, it'll still have all the comments that were made at the time. That could be very cool.
Yeah, sure. But I still like the idea of having this whole Trollbox.
Yeah.
It sounds really epic.
Well, I mean, it was one of the best business decisions that BTC-E ever made, right? Like this thing has been a
Yeah.
real money spinner for them. And I think any kind of social object that draws attention and discussion around something usually does generate a lot of interest and cross-pollination of ideas and so on. So yeah, okay,
Okay,
that's good
let's do that.
consensus. And then the next thing was Chris needs to code up the Twitter OAuth, or that's for the ticker at the top of the website. So it's going to have the news running from our Twitter stream. So again, we still need more volunteers as well to run the Twitter, because I am tweeting a little bit and Tom's tweeting a little bit, but it would be cool if other people could tweet out news articles, anything that kind of comes up. And then personal bios, yeah. So everyone that is a host on the show is going to get a bio page, which will feature their wallet and their Bitcoin address and any other donation address, a little bit about them, links to their social media. So yeah, everyone needs to kind of start writing up a personal bio. Not that anyone's fucking watching this, but anyway. And
Okay. And we can have in the personal bio area, you can get like a link to the private area. So if they really like you, then they can pay extra and get a link to the the private section.
Yeah, and then the other thing, yeah, that'd be cool actually. Then the other thing he mentioned was AppFrog, which is I think it's hosting of the site, which is pretty much free, because you can just like a freemium model thing. And then he also recommended this one as well, GoDaddy, because I was thinking of putting it on my server, my VPS, but he's like, actually, you can just put it on here and it'll be cheaper. But
No GoDaddy? We're not going to use GoDaddy?
Okay, so we have to fucking come off that crack, Lolly. Okay, you have to get off that shit. That is one of the most evil fucking companies ever. And I'm not happy that the ethics of this organization are being massively tainted. Like, we should think really carefully about who.
We don't have
that's
any
where a
money.
lot of my domains are. They're so
Moving
cheap.
domains costs money. It's cheaper.
If
What?
anyone needs help moving
This is
domains
free.
or what the latest, yeah, but
What? This is free. What's the
yeah.
point?
GoDaddy is good for domains. Yeah, okay. No, we can use this free one. That's cool. I'm down with. I'm interested.
GoDaddy isn't cheaper than. Sorry, it's not cheaper than hover.com.
To register a domain. It probably. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
You
but
can
to transfer.
Well, yeah,
Oh, it's not that much more. It's like $15 versus $8. I mean,
No. There's these coupons, and it gives you the first year for like $150. That's the whole deal with
okay.
GoDaddy.
Well,
So
anyway,
they
as
lure
soon
you
as it
in,
comes up for expiration, I think we
then you
should.
can transfer it out
They're
to a
also
more
an evil company.
Yeah, they do some. I don't remember what they did.
Well, for a start, they always use those women in the ads that are like have absolutely nothing to do with hosting, but they just put them in there because
They
they're
use
funny.
Jean-Claude Van Damme too. But yeah, I agree. It's an evil company. We don't have to discuss it.
Yeah.
We can use that one you suggested. Namecheap.com is also pretty good if people want to register a domain. They're pretty ethical. They support like campaigns against SOPA or whatever that's called. I think they changed the name of it a few times.
Yeah.
So they're pretty cool, and they're one of the first to accept Bitcoin too. So they're also pretty cool. But we can use that one you suggested if he recommends it, then that's cool, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, he's just coming in now. Chris is joining us. Yeah, and also we can easily crowdfund that. I reckon we could go on Twitter right now and people would be like, please leave GoDaddy, please leave. I'll pay everything. Just transfer fees, everything.
Well, I'm on a forum, and the people are really good at posting coupons. So if another register, sometimes they have like a coupon. They try to get you to transfer to them. They just all compete against each other. So sometimes you can get real cheap ones, like $5 instead of paying $15, just to transfer to them because they hope that you hold there for a year. But there's nothing to prevent you from jumping every year to a new one if you feel like that's worth the trouble.
Yes. So Chris is joining us now, and we're still going through the website. So it's
Can you guys
okay.
see my camera?
No, you're
Not
just
yet.
on screen at the moment.
Okay, I don't know what's happening there. 1 second, just continue. I'll figure it out.
Sure. So there was that, and then oh yeah, the Namecoin thing. I mean, I guess
.bit.
yeah, .bit. I don't have the Namecoin wallet anymore. Is it really? I don't think Namecoin's really going anywhere, is it?
It's stable and it's merge
Yeah.
mined with Bitcoin. Well, stable in what? As price or as hash rate? It's merged mined, so it's not going to go away, you know? I mean, CEXIO is mining it with Bitcoin, so it's not going to go away. You know, I think that Derek has a .bit site. Actually, it's the only one I know, only person
Yeah,
I
I mean,
know. that
I
has
have one. I have a couple from ages ago when it first came out, but
Yeah, but an actual site up that you can
not
visit.
live.
No, I think he has an actual live. Well, there's this thing called Meowbit that makes it easier to manage. You still have to have the wallet, but it just makes it easier to manage the whole thing. It's like a little extra program. I mean, that's the thing I think we could think about in the future. Let's go ahead and just get this system up. And then in the meantime, maybe Derek or whoever wants to can set up a .bit, and
Yeah.
we can be there too. I don't know how that all works with the hosting. I guess
I don't really get how it really works, but yeah.
Yeah, you got a point. I read about it, but I haven't done it. You just have to, adjust a few things and it works.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And then the other thing was seeding the blockchain. Now, we've had a kind offer from one of our followers on Twitter. This guy, Mose, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, and I think he's in Sweden, or at least his server is in Sweden. And he has started seeding some of our BitTorrent videos that we download. Essentially, we download them from YouTube after we make them, like we probably will with this one. And then we timestamp them into the Bitcoin blockchain along with a magnetic link, something called a magnetic link. In fact, let me just show you. So it's in, I use Crypto Graffiti, and it lets you put messages in the blockchain, like I put one in there last night. And yeah, you can put magnetic links in there, which anyone with a BitTorrent client can use to download your episodes. And the advantage is that if we're pulled off of YouTube for any reason, if they just decide to ban us or something like that, you'll still be able to download. And in the future, you will be able to. That's taking ages to load up. Let me just pull away. And in the future, you will be able to actually watch the videos in the browser itself. You don't even need to be running the BitTorrent in order to run it. So if Chris and also Mose has the ability to give us these kind of seeds, it only needs a couple of other people as well, and then I think you're pretty good. You're anti-fragile.
Yeah, I'll get the torrent set up here next week.
Cool.
So that we can be seeding from here.
Yeah, nice one.
That sounds cool.
I don't think my camera's working. FaceTime's not even saying there's a camera there.
So just try sharing your screen, because it may just be that we need to see your screen.
No, I actually brought up FaceTime and that couldn't find a camera either.
Oh, okay.
I think there's actually something wrong with my computer at the moment. I could probably need a reboot.
Yeah, maybe try rebooting it. But otherwise, can you share your screen on the right, on the left-hand side? You've got the little arrow, the green arrow.
Yep.
See if you can do that.
I can.
Well, there's also the settings in Google. So that little that little circle next to the hang up section, next to the hang up button.
Yeah. I don't think it's Chrome. As I said, I just opened Facebook and that can't see my camera either.
Yeah, we can see your screen though.
Yeah, I've shared my screen. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay, great.
But what does that achieve?
Well, I thought you were going to show us stuff.
Oh no! Do you want me to? Okay. What do you want to see?
I don't know, maybe you just show
I wanted to show you my face. My lovely face.
Well, yeah, we do want to see your face. But do you want to restart then and then just try again?
Yeah, okay, let me try a quick reboot.
Cool.
2 seconds.
Yeah, in a bit. Okay. By the way, I've been watching a few other people's live streams recently, and they are mostly just them, the person looking at the screen going, right, is it live? Is it live? What can you see? Is it working? Is the sound okay? Like, they're just sitting there going, troubleshooting for like 20 minutes. You have to skim through the whole thing. People still tune in, though. And let's see what else we got in. Did I close it down? What did I do with it? Oh, BitCloud, yeah. Okay, and then the other thing was BitCloud, which is, this is something that Chris was mentioning in the meeting as well. Which
Is that for hosting or what?
Distributed, yeah, I guess so. Or it might be just be to do with, oh, I think, no. Okay, so this was, I think this was the one that the originator of BitTorrent has invented. Anyway, I'll let Chris explain it when he comes back, but it looks pretty cool, and it should enable us to get our videos, get our videos, especially the historic stuff like Hong Kong and stuff. Like, it's pretty important to get that out there and not leave it at the mercy of a centralized, service like YouTube.
Yeah.
Now, whilst we're waiting for Chris, what do I want to do? I might invite Soumitra as well to this. I don't know why I haven't thought about inviting him before, because he works really, really hard. He's one of our followers on Twitter, and he has been very good at timestamping our videos. Do you want to join us? I don't know what time it is in India at the moment. I'm guessing it's early hours of the morning, so he probably won't be around. But he's been very good at timestamping our videos, which means painstakingly going through the video and then typing out, the time signature. And then he even creates links.
Better.
Aha! There you go.
Okay, excellent.
Cool. Live from Seed Camp, London, Google Campus. It is
Okay, so
pretty.
what did I miss, or is it
Everything.
anything? Awesome.
We went through, the website. We actually like the white version,
Okay.
and we weren't really too sure what to do about the Trollbox, because we didn't want to lose the attention on the Q&A that we currently have within YouTube.
Okay.
So unless the Trollbox is really slick, we're probably still going to want to direct people towards the Q&A.
Okay.
But it depends on what you say about what we can do with it. We'll do.
Well, that was just an example one I threw in there just to show some sort of chat functionality. We're not necessarily going to use this one at the end. We may custom code something. If we do that, then we can have it as slick as you want it. If there's not one out there that's fit for purpose, I mean, a simple chat client is very easy to code up. It's not.
Yeah, I think the key thing for me is that the comments that are made at the time the video is live stay with the video.
Yeah, we could definitely do that, yeah.
Right.
We could, if we did it ourselves, we could have things like timestamp this, and it would go straight into the blockchain like you do. So this is like an important thing, and then that gets fed in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you're worried about splitting focus from your YouTube app, then I understand, because that's why I really put the two variations. One, we start to bring the functionality back to this site, and you have people watching it from here, or you stay at YouTube, and this is a jump point for it, and this is used for archiving in essence, and all your live stuff jumps off to YouTube. Both have their merits and demerits. It just depends what the consensus is, really.
Yeah. I like we definitely like the idea of coding something up for now, just so that we've got something. Oh, also Soumitra we actually got quite a lot of comments in the chat box here. So yeah, we like the idea about coming up with something for now, and we liked the white, and we don't think that we should have the discuss comments. We should probably just keep the focus on the YouTube, just because the Q&A works really well. But if it is possible in the longer term to get a really good chat box up and running, that would be amazing.
Yeah, well, I'll see if we can actually embed the Q&A. It might be possible.
Oh, that would be cool, yes. But that'll be in the API, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I'll double check, yeah. Yeah, apparently, yeah. Oh, it looks like it's possible. Apparently it can. You can embed it. Yeah, I'll look into that further off stream, but apparently it can be done, yeah.
Yeah,
What?
lovely. Yeah, so Soumitra is actually in the chat box. Someone's asking when will the price of Bitcoin go back up? This is a town hall meeting.
Tuesday.
Just Tuesday. All right. And I don't know that that's insider knowledge. I wouldn't trade
No.
on it if I were you.
7:21 p.m.
Yeah, this is not professional trading advice. Please
Definitely not.
consult your local
What's wait, trading advice? I heard something. What's the trading advice?
Yeah.
I'm giving a definite prediction of when the price of Bitcoin is definitely going to go up.
Okay, and when is that?
Tuesday, 7:21 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
I'll timestamp that into the blockchain. We
So
could
if you say Tuesday at whatever 2:21 or whatever, then I guess it's
7:21.
gonna
Do not do it at 2:21. God Almighty. 7:21.
Okay. Yeah, well, I've got to get my buy-in order before you, so I've just got to decide if it's 1 hour or 5
You
minutes.
go at 7:19.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now we've got trading tips.
Yeah,
What's
so
next
we're
on
done
the
trading. That's
Yeah.
it. Strike that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and then we talked about app fog and Pagoda box and the fact that GoDaddy is cheap, but they're also evil. But like, I don't think it's that cheap. I don't think it's cheap enough to get away with the evilness of them. So.
Yeah, there's definitely stuff we can do there. We can move to Cloudflare plus one of the PaaS providers, like you just mentioned, AppFog, etc.
Yeah.
We have options there.
And then yeah, I'm all up for Namecoin, but I think yeah, we'd obviously need to take a look at that to see how that would work.
Mm.
And then that was it, I think, in terms of the website. Unless you mentioned you had some other things to show.
I haven't pushed them yet. Sorry, I didn't get them finished. I got dragged into another meeting, but they're going to be finished tonight. I'm working on them tonight, so.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, they're not going to be ready yet, unfortunately, but they will be ready for review tomorrow. It's basically all the other pages we talked about. So it's the crowdsourcing page, etc.
And is this your chap you mentioned in New Zealand? Is he going to be designing it, or are you having a go?
I'm going to brief him shortly, and then he'll be working on it. Yeah, so I'm putting the framework in for them and the functionality, and then we'll slap the design on them later. So we're going. So let me just clarify. We're going for the white design.
Yeah.
With the navigation, with the carousel navigation.
Yeah.
And we are losing the Trollbox for now until we see whether we can embed Hangouts and/or do our own.
If you can embed the Hangouts, that's great. If not, I'm all up for looking at a Trollbox and seeing how it functions and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think we'd have to see it first to really see. As in, we'd have to get people on there and.
Yeah, so let's do 2 streams. Let's go one without, and then we'll work on it until it's right.
I like your idea. I liked your idea in the meeting of A/B testing, but you might
absolutely.
Pick a few vectors.
Yeah, and see if it works or not. Yeah, absolutely. By all means.
Cool.
Okay. Did we mention the ability to actually pay you guys some money that I had a go at you about?
That is on the agenda, and I have started the ball rolling in terms of getting that multi-sig wallet up and running. Now, we were supposed to be joined by Gavin Knight, but I haven't heard back from him. I've sent him the link. Sorry, what's that new website called that lets you do multi-sig? The one owned by BitPay? Someone remind me?
It's called Copay.
Copay, that's it. So the problem with using Armory Wallet is that you've got to copy pasta this block of text, which doesn't always get formatted right in every text editor, which means that it's kind of a pain, and I didn't anticipate how much of a pain. Also, the other person has to have it installed, and if they kind of don't have it installed, it takes time. Also, Theo, you don't have to have the blockchain downloaded to review and sign a transaction. You only need it.
You mean offline do I go to offline transactions?
No, you just go to Lockbox and then you click on that wallet, that we created that day, did you import it? You may not have imported it at the time.
Well,
Yeah, this
what it
copay was
is
cool.
that I made it on a different computer. And
Okay.
I have a USB stick with the backup, or I backed up the wallet,
Yeah.
and I thought that would be enough. And now
Yeah.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to
yeah. That is.
import that, and I imported the wallet. Now I'm not really sure what to do. I didn't name it, World Crypto Network or anything like that, and I don't know. I don't really see this thing. I remember the steps that you said with 6 out of 7. I remember when I made it, but I just don't see that anymore. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I feel like an idiot.
What's that?
No, I'm just. I don't see the option where it says 6 out of 7 steps or whatever. Hold on, I'll show you. I can show you because I don't have anything else in the wallet, so it doesn't matter.
Right. See all your millions.
Yeah, this copay is really cool.
Yeah, it looks good.
And so it keeps disconnecting. So this bottom one here is the one I imported.
So first of all, you need to go to Users Expert.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh, yeah.
I did that. And I restarted it as Expert. And then I think I don't remember how I got the wallet on there, but I got it on there.
So is it on their servers, or can we have it? Can we download it?
Import or restore wallet. No, I don't know, but somehow I imported this one, and now I can only have these options, and I don't remember what I should press. I tried to paste the thing you sent me in here for offline transaction, but it says unrecognized. So I tried to do it in here, and I don't know, my computer is doing, I guess it's doing all kinds of crazy stuff with the connection to the QT you see over here. I don't know what the hell that is. I guess it's Windows. But yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I mean, theoretically, I made it at my parents' house, and if they have it on one of their old computers, they don't usually have online. So I could get them to redo it if we really need to. I just have to explain to them how to do it. So then it's also double judicial arbitrage, because I've got a copy here in Germany on the USB stick, and I've got another one in America.
So what are we doing here, sorry?
I don't know what we're doing right now.
I just want to give you guys $87, and no one seems to want to take it.
Ah, that's what this is about.
I'll take it.
I've tried to
We can make a new address. Oh, it's your affiliate money that didn't get claimed, like you were saying.
Basically,
right,
yeah.
Exactly. Well then, Thomas, why don't you just make a new address for that? We don't have to do it.
We haven't. The network that I've set up has never taken any money directly, so it's a totally new thing. So I thought Chris would just give you an address. You could just send it to Chris, and we'd have Chris hold on to it.
Yeah, maybe Chris is doing something.
Disconnect it now or something. So
yeah.
If this was Goldman Sachs,
We'll
they'd
figure
have
it
money
out.
like this.
Well, maybe you can just put it in a padded envelope. No,
Yeah, just leave it. Just meet someone on the street.
Yeah, so we seem
It's
to
a
have
really
lost.
cool. Yeah, we lost Chris somehow. I don't know. I can look on Twitter and see if he's there, but
This
It doesn't look like question answers are turned on.
This copay is really cool. Is it on their servers, or does it download to your machine? Or that's my
I
only
think it's
thing
a
about it.
website.
It's a hosted wallet, isn't it? completely. I think that's its only problem, but it's really good apart from that.
Well, oh, sorry, everyone. I lost internet connection. I'm back now. As you can see. So, are we talking about Copay? Because what I really liked about it is that I believe you keep your private key off the site, don't you?
Oh, okay. Is that how they do it? Yeah, that's good then. Yeah.
Yeah, you sign it.
I haven't used it, but it sounds good. If it's easier, I like Armory, but if it's more convenient,
Yeah.
then you can use it. If you can store your keys off-site like that, that sounds really good.
Yeah, you can do it through an extension, or you can do it directly through the web. But
Right.
if it's multi-sig anyway,
You
you
need to
each
get
got a
all
copy
signed.
of
Yeah,
the
yeah. No, it's really cool. That I like it a lot.
So that would be what I would suggest. And of course, that wasn't available when we first started talking about this. But just to show you, Theo, this
Okay.
is the lockbox here. So that text there, you just copy paste that in when you import the wallet, which it looks like you still need to do because you've installed a new version of Armory. You're on a different computer, so you need to install that. But I couldn't see where the option was on your screen when I just looked. Have you got the latest version, 0.92?
I don't know. I have to check. Okay, so you mean I need to save that as a text file, and I can't just paste it in and then like import it as, because I think it had an option somewhere like import text or something like that.
Yeah, you have to import that. Import
I can't
Lockbox.
just paste it. Okay. Okay, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've got that. What you just showed me. I've got that.
Yeah, it says import Lockbox. You have to go to Lockbox multisig, and then where it says create, you've got import Lockbox.
Okay.
I'm confused. If we're using Copay, why are we doing this?
Oh, because we've already got some funds. We've got like $30 in.
Yeah. In the meantime, we can make Copay, and you can send this unused affiliate money or whatever we're calling it to that new address at Copay, or using the Copay or whatever, however you want to call it.
Yeah, absolutely. Set it up and let me know.
All right. Who's going to set up Copay?
I'm going to do that now, right this second.
Okay. And then there's the other fun part of how do we then distribute those funds.
Yeah. Yeah, but then that's the cool thing about these things is so how many people do we want to?
Well, I've got an idea. We were talking about having a pizza party on Hangout the other day, and then we can just use the funds to have the pizza party.
Yeah. Should we just do a 2 of 3?
That sounds okay.
That seems to be like the normal thing.
Okay. Well, we're the only ones here, so we can just do what we want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We are the tyrants.
Well, no, there was a better word that someone used, crypto oligarchy or something. I don't know what the hell they were calling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make 2 out of 3 for now. And I mean, like I said, later, if people really object or whatever, then we can always change it. You know, it should be easier than doing all this Armory stuff to change.
But just kind of see how Copay works as a thing. And I need to generate a 32-character password. Damn it! I've given it away. And now everyone's going to know what my character length is. Well, it's not 32, okay? I lied. It's something else.
So what's after Copay? What's on the agenda?
Oh, tons of stuff. We've got loads of really important decisions to make.
Okay.
Like, how the fuck are we going to get paid for this shit?
Yeah, so are we going to make a coin or what? What's up with this?
Oh, yeah, let's definitely run a scam.
Yeah, so that was the whole thing. Yeah, but didn't I couldn't find the link. He made a GitHub and everything, art gallery.
Yeah, I linked
and
it.
I haven't, and I can't fucking find it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You know,
right, I've got a secret. I'm going to send you the secret.
I was just trying to figure out the advantage the people that should buy it, what the hell the advantage is? What do they need it for?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it
That's
still
the only
needs
thing.
it still needs some. We still need to think it through. Like Dustin's put a lot of effort in, and
Yeah, Dustin.
he really wants to help us out. So I definitely want to give it more airtime. It's just that it doesn't matter how well it's like it doesn't matter how much work we put into thinking this through. It will come across like a scam just because they all do. That's my
Yeah,
problem.
but what about let's talk Bitcoin coin. Does that look like a scam to the people? Well, it looks like a scam to some people, but I don't. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't look like it doesn't make me want to go there and comment because I haven't done it. Because I know that you get some if you comment. But on the other hand, it doesn't look like a scam as the same as like pump and dump coin of the week or whatever. You know
Yeah.
what I? Because at least
The
you
reason
know
it's
who's
a
behind
scam-
it and.
The reason it's a scam, Theo, is what they were talking about with that Bitcoin comic book. They don't have the right to issue dividends. So what they're essentially issuing you is fake stock that's not real stock in their company. If it was stock in their company, it would have value, and it would also be illegal. So it can't be that. So it's a token.
Well, I don't know if that's
No
illegal.
value.
Exactly. I know what you mean. Yeah, that's Swarm. That's a token. But I don't think it's illegal per se to give someone a share of a company like that. I mean, I can register a Delaware company and give whoever I want a share. And I don't know if Comic Book has a share, or I don't know what the hell. I don't think that's the issue. I think giving dividends is a little bit of an issue with the regulations, at least in America, and I think here too in EU it's also an issue. But yeah, it's supposed to be a share. You're right. That's supposed to be the benefit.
And
The
that's
benefit is,
what
yeah.
they're selling it as, that you're buying a piece of their company, that you're getting a share. But they're not giving you a share because they can't give you a share, so it's a scam.
Yeah, I agree. That seems
I,
to be how
I
it
see
comes
what you
across to
mean.
me.
No, well, I can agree somewhat with you. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what I get. I have one comic coin. Okay, so I bought into the scam. Okay, so because I bought like, I don't know, whatever $1 worth of Swarm, or I don't know how much, because I had some coins on my counter wallet, and now I got one. So I guess I'm in the scam, but I don't know what to do with it. That's what I said when he was on air. I said I've got one comic coin. Okay, what do I do with it? But I didn't really get an answer because I think to do all this voting and all this other crap, you have to buy this other token or something. I don't really get it.
No,
Anyway,
the reason why you don't get it, you're not meant to get it, Theo. What you're meant to do is just buy the damn thing.
yeah,
So
well,
it
it's
goes
on
up
the
in
website.
price.
It's explained. Maybe I just haven't, gone
No,
through
these
it.
things are never explained in simple terms. If you can't
It's not explained
understand
in
it,
simple terms. It's not
yeah.
not explained in simple terms. I agree.
It's like comparing mobile phone tariffs. It's not meant to make sense. It's
Okay,
meant
well,
to
then
confuse you.
I get. Okay, we see what the two or three main ones that are, using this kind of system with the tokens. It's not a mined coin,
Yeah.
So what could make it not sleazy? You know what I mean? I mean,
The
that's
timing.
all that
For me, it's all about timing. And right now, every damn project out there looks like a scam. So it doesn't
Right.
matter whether we are pure and white and clean.
Okay, well
Everything's
then we
great.
can do something else. Then we can do more. So Tom has on Mad Bitcoins. He has ads now,
Hmm.
or shout outs or whatever.
Mhm.
He wants to make it, or he can tell him himself, but he doesn't have a screen right now. But he said he wants to make it that it's one version is shout out and one version is ads. And a shout out is just like, hey everyone, Theo supported this show, thanks a lot, Theo, and that costs X. And an ad is like at the beginning of the show, this show is brought to you by, Sound Wallet, whatever. Go to Sound Wallet, it's a really cool thing.
So that's back to the old advertising model of doing
Right,
things.
exactly. So I know, but we're always going to have that. I mean, or the other thing was like, I think I was talking to Tom with it too. Was like more like at the end of the show. It's not an ad. It's like in America how PBS does it, public broadcasting, because they're public, but they have sponsors. It's a little
Yeah.
weird. It's
Right.
like this documentary about oil and how bad and all this. This was made possible by mobile.
This was made possible.
No, they have. There are some really weird ones where they do like these things that you think that are really critical, and they seem really critical, and then at the end it's like this was brought to you by and you're like, holy shit, what the hell? How is that brought to you by, that company? But I mean, yeah, basically.
I saw it on NewsHour once. They were sponsored by Archer Daniels Midland, and they were doing a negative story on Archer Daniels Midland. It was pretty fun.
So, okay, so the main monetization, we'll just have to call it monetization because that's what it is, how you get money,
Well,
right?
I actually like to think of it like sustainability. Like actually what you're trying
Yeah,
to do
okay.
is
Economic, feasible, sustainability.
Hmm.
I agree. You don't have to call it. I totally
Because
agree.
I would
But
rather we made profit in terms of inspiring people across the world to learn more about this technology, how it can improve their lives and give them, self-mastery, autonomy. You know the pitch. I've done the pitch, but
yeah,
it
sure. But wouldn't they
rather
be inspired if we're able to do this in an economically sustainable way?
correct, which is why I use the term not for loss. This should be a
Okay.
not for loss organization, first and
Okay, well, we
foremost.
can call that. We can call it that. I don't have a problem with that. It's just a matter of, okay, how are we going to do it? We either have to have ads or a form of ads,
Yeah. Well, at the
or
moment,
a share. That's the tokens is a share.
we can't do shares because that's illegal.
It's
We
problematic, right? Exactly. That's share. Or if we, I don't know, or we have to
we
like sell hats and T-shirts or something. You know what I mean? Sell
right.
a
The
like a
margin on
sport.
that is really small.
Yeah, I'm just brainstorming what
Yeah,
other
it's
options
good.
there
It's
are.
good to brainstorm. I mean,
Yeah.
I certainly am noticing that. Yeah, we're not getting. I'm not earning anywhere near enough that I can live on it in a developed country. Maybe if I was living in Thailand, maybe I could live on what I'm being paid at the moment. Maybe. So yes, it's not like we're not going to be able to do this long term. Eventually, we're going to have to stop doing it if based on current trends. But I do think that we should think creatively about how we should do it and get our audience on board and actually have them say to us, look, this is how we want to pay for it. Assuming, of course, that it's not the quality of the content that's an issue. Assuming, of course, that people don't just think, well, look, it's all right, but I wouldn't pay $1 a time for it. But remember, it's a massive addressable market out there. It only takes a fraction of the human internet connection, population to pay us $1 a week, and that's actually more than enough to pay us all. So it's also partly an advertising problem, like as in we need to advertise the network more without
Well,
kind
yeah,
of dumbing it
totally.
down. And
Well, that's totally, of
so we
course.
need so
I
we need
agree.
to be
Yeah,
tweeting more, and
I agree.
maybe an
So
angle
I
on
found
this.
that, yeah, go on.
Maybe an angle on this is to do more stuff like we've been doing with James recently in Hong Kong, where we don't just make this about Bitcoin and crypto. We make this like that's the rubric and that's the lens through which we see the world. But actually, it's more about empowerment. Like it's more about democracy and charting the rise of global democracy.
Well, I think that some of the shows can be like that, and that's already happening without us even,
Mm.
making a big like effort. This is what we're
Yeah.
going to do. That's just automatically, organically happen because James is there,
Yeah.
and he's been on the show, so he's like in our group. And we're like, okay, this is great. We gotta, report, and everyone is going to be like that too. If there's something happening in anyone's part of the woods, but I mean, yeah, okay, that gives a really great value to the thing. But I mean, when it comes down to it, if I'm an individual, then maybe I donate, $1 or $5 or $10 or whatever. But I mean, yeah, if I'm
Well,
a
from my
small
point of
company,
view,
if I'm a small company, where am I going to do it?
so I'm a small company. I can tell you I've done it because you guys are doing something productive, something that can change it. I have a source of funds that I give away anyway, so you're as good as any other company that I'll give to. So that's why I do it, and I'm a small company. And there's lots of small companies like me who are transaction-based companies who have these little rollovers. There's a ready-made market for you there. Sponsors is the quickest way I think you can do it. There's reasons why things that don't seem profitable get sponsored. There's a reason why Cook was sponsored by the Queen to go off and find America, because if he found it, it'd be worth lots of money. Weird analogy, but he did it, and then he made the Queen really rich, the King and the Queen really rich at that time. So you need someone who has deep pockets to sponsor it until you
Okay, well, I
can
agree. I
gain
totally
the traction.
So we had, yeah, you're
to,
totally
to,
right.
live,
We
to,
had
to
this.
live on your own, I think. Once you start getting into the thousands and tens of thousands of viewers, then you can talk about an ad network, and it can be good ads, and it doesn't have to be evil ads. You can be very selective, but those ad revenues won't be significant until you get the numbers, and the burn rate we're on at the moment will be dead before we get to those numbers because people have to eat. The most important thing is that the talent, horrible word, needs to be able to eat and pay their rent and pay their mortgage so they can do this. And that's the hurdle. So I think sustainable's next, but just getting over the initial hurdle of making people have enough money to live is the important thing right now.
Yeah. Well, another idea was to make part of the website, targeting so-called whales. To say, hey, you're a company or middle or small or whatever, and don't you want to donate a bunch of money to us? And here's the value proposition, and and that's it. And someone that's cool that's good at writing would write that. And it's targeting the bigger ones.
We should be like the Bitcoin Foundation. Let people like donate and be sponsors at a certain level. Like,
Sure.
What is it, $25,000? They should pay us that.
Yep.
So we get things on.
Well, I agree with you. That's true. If you just put $25,000, if you suggest $25,000, then maybe somebody will do it. But if you don't suggest it, then they might not. They probably won't do it. That's true. But I don't think we need to give out like bronze and silver memberships, or I don't know, whatever the hell they're doing.
They want that. They really want that.
Actually, Tom's got a good point that we are providing value to wealthy Bitcoin holders who are invested in Bitcoin being promoted across the world, not just, grotesquely in terms of like their portfolio, but also philosophically. Like, we are doing a good job on this channel of keeping it real, number one.
They cut him off when he said keeping it real.
that gets you every time.
Yeah. Well, I've got 2 Chris's. I don't know how he's doubled.
Yeah, I had 2 for a while, but one went. Now they've both gone.
Yeah, it's really weird with 2.
It's an echo.
So I mean, I know what you're saying. Planning for the future is a great thing, but I like to plan for now. Make sure that you guys can eat. Beyond that,
then how should we do it? What should we do?
Don't know. The main thing at the moment is just let's figure that out, and then we can look to a sustainable business model that grows the business. But right now, it's like I remember Tom saying 3 months ago that he's got a year left at this. You need to make sure that it's profitable before that year runs out, because then he financially can't do it anymore.
Yeah, but since the price went down, that time cut in half.
No, cut in half today. What we got now? 6 weeks?
6 months, yeah. 3 months, maybe. I don't know. I'm like right on the line. So.
Yeah, I'm right on the line as well. Can you guys hear me?
So I even have a guy on Twitter, Hattori Hanzu, and he's saying, have you guys thought about monetizing video ads? Well, yeah, of course we've thought about that, but I mean, well, first of all, the ads are pretty annoying, the YouTube ads, and yeah, we talked about the other ads. I mean, I think the ones Tom is doing are good, but I don't know.
Well, I do the YouTube ads on all my Mad Bitcoins videos, and I try to do it on any of the other videos, and it's barely $100 a month. And if you don't make 100, like last month it was 70, they don't pay you at all. They hold it for next month. So,
all right.
And I've been
YouTube. You mean? Yep,
YouTube.
Yeah. Google. The threshold is 100. Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, I mean other ads, not Google ads. I mean like an ad like you do at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I mean the system that I have with the QR code and the Google form is pretty simple, and that's again to solve the problem that I don't have a person to work on advertising full time. Whenever you get an email about advertising, you go back and forth about the price, 3 or 4 emails. Then they say they're going to pay, then they don't pay. So I don't know how to like deal with that, because then I've lost my time, and if I do that for everybody, then I've lost a lot of my time, and I'm not necessarily an ad man or ad person.
Yeah, it's also. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so it's also a dying, like I used to work in that industry. Advertising is a bubble and it's dying and it's going to die a death, and we need to innovate. And innovation means taking risks. The people I like in this industry at the moment are the people that are making genuine sacrifices, not people like talking about IPOs or like raising $15 million for their next big idea, but actually practicing what they preach, walking the walk and doing stuff and actually living on the breadline. That's why I like what they're doing at the Bitcoin Squat, because these guys are keeping it real. And I'm kind of really into that, and I kind of want to do that because I think it's an honest way of living. Now, Tony P is saying that, he likes this idea of us, because I'm encoding stuff in the blockchain, why don't we have our own blockchain where we timestamp our news stories and things like that? And that could be a money thing. That's not a bad idea, actually.
So other people encode stuff into it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Like, we could actually do that for journalists.
Well, couldn't we use? Yeah, okay, we could make our own. Couldn't we use Viacoin, or wasn't there some talk of that?
We could, yeah. We could partner with someone like Viacoin, and we know
because he's coming on the show, and you've met him or whatever, and I made a wallet.
Obviously, that boat has sailed. I mean, if it was going to be a money-making thing, obviously he's, the Viacoin are in the mining system, so we wouldn't be able to get in on that. Like, if you were going to the problem with pre-mines as well is that even though they're not.
Okay, well, first of all, I meant for just embedding into the blockchain.
Right.
That it might be cheaper than if you wanted to do the longer ones, the longer embed, because if you do use cryptography, that's okay. And plus, Viacoin has this thing called what do they call? I think they call it a clearinghouse. It's like their counterparty, and in that you can do something called a broadcast. And I don't know where that is on the blockchain exactly, but I think it's somewhere, and I think it's permanent. And it could be a way, and I think he was talking about making some part of the Viacoin clearinghouse, especially for like the stuff you were doing. That's how I understood it. That you can, do this proof of existence or whatever, etc., whatever you're calling it.
Yeah. I mean, he said to me that he wasn't going to just allow raw text because otherwise, the blockchain's just going to get jammed.
Okay.
Okay, am I back?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so I don't think he's going to allow raw text in there, but I think he was thinking of allowing, hashes, like SHA-256 hashes. And I kind of see where he's coming from as well. I think he just wants to make sure that the longevity of the blockchain, he has doubts that in the future everyone's going to download the whole blockchain. And I think he's right. You've got to think about the incentives. So I think there's an opportunity for someone to come up with a notarization chain where you actually go out to universities and you encourage journalistic organizations and universities to download this blockchain for the integrity of the fourth estate itself, so that you've actually got like reputable people that are perhaps even being compensated, small amounts like miners to actually store the whole blockchain. You can do that with something called proof of custody.
I think that's a great idea and a great concept, but is it short term, or is this a long term generation thing, or would that generate revenue short term? How long would it take to implement something like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a medium to long term thing. I mean, it wouldn't take very long to implement it because you can just fork Viacoin or fork one of these chains and do it pretty quickly. But in terms of the ramp up, the publicity required, yeah. But then again, I don't think anyone in the world, unless you're working for a bank, no one's finding it easy to make money at the moment. You've got to be, I think the whole world is learning a very harsh lesson in what it finds valuable, how we're compensating one another. And I actually think that the price that we're earning at the moment is an honest price in terms of this really is what people will pay. If anything, we're getting paid slightly above market rate, because when you advertise to people, you're just a bunch of numbers on a screen. Like,
see, that can't be right. If there's people like PewDiePie and Grace Helbig who are making millions a year from YouTube, unless Idiocracy the movie's true, then people only want dumber and dumber content going forward.
Yes, they do. Yes, so
okay.
People don't tend to pay for like intellectual content. They tend to pay for like kind of cartoony kind of content. So in ad agencies, it was always like simplify, simplify, simplify. Just take out all the, because people don't really want to be educated. They want to be entertained. They don't want to think. Don't make them think. Whatever you do. So even with those big channels, though, they only earn like a fraction of a penny per audience member, because remember that the conversion rates are notoriously low. Nobody clicks on those ads. I mean, nobody does. I've never.
It's okay. I mean, I think that's
seven
clear.
figures. That's fine. That's a fine amount of money.
Mm.
So let me spin this on the head. Is there anyone on the WCN network right now who sustains herself and makes a living from their online activities? Let's look at it from that angle.
Well, not that I'm aware of.
So not Derek, not Davy Barker, not none of those. They're all okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I mean,
Derek has a pretty cheap living situation, probably, because he's in Keene, and I think they all live in one house, kind of like the Bitcoin squat, but they're all chipping in. I have roommates. Davi has a wife who's a lawyer. I don't know. I mean, I think everyone's hustling. We're all trying to make money, and we're all. I mean, I get maybe 25%, 50% of what I need. So credit cards are filling the rest, and they're running out. I mean, we keep going. We're not going to stop, but yeah, it's not looking that great. Especially with the price down, it's not helping anybody.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's it. That's my concern. My immediate concern is to get you to that 100%. You know, a sustainable living is mandatory, isn't it? So you can keep doing it. 100% is the goal. Once you've done that, and you guys have got modest lifestyles anyway, I presume. So getting to that level shouldn't be that hard. I'm sure we can do it. We're smart enough to figure it out.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is about thinking imaginatively, but a lot of it also, remember, we are dealing with a global context in which you do have living costs in the West being exorbitantly high, and then labor prices in developing countries being incredibly low. And now the market, the global market, now has to arbitrage those two. So the living costs are going to have to come down in the West, and the wages are going to have to go up in the developing countries. And that's going to take time, and it's probably going to take quite a few economic shocks until we get there. You're going to have a lot of capitulation. You're going to have a lot of people saying, really, is that what a house is worth? I had no idea. You know, and people are going to have to lose a lot of money. Some people are going to make a lot of money, and you're going to get the kind of, you know, this nouveau riche that you tend to get during these big economic cycles. But so all I'm saying is we're part of a bigger beast. And
and it's just keeping it going until this future's realized or not. But it's keeping it going is all I'm concerned about. I believe in you in the future of where it's going, and we've had side discussions on this, and we're pretty much in sync with that. But my main concern is make sure we've got enough to get us through what you need to get through, which is pay your rent and eat. And I guess you guys don't really want to do much more than that at this moment in time.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's paying rent here. I mean, I'm couch surfing, squatting, etc. I think most of us are very fortunate, and that's why we were able to kind of do this in the first place. So,
but still, 100% of your current expenses, I say, is the goal. It's the only goal right now. Once that's met, beyond the journalistic side of it and the fair stuff and all that, obviously that comes with that saying, but being able to eke a living out whilst you're doing it is the important thing. The most important thing right now.
Yes, I would agree with you.
You know, there comes a point, I'm half thinking you just push it back to the users. You're like, right, you like doing this now, you don't want to get involved, you don't want to come into the show to do it, so the other way you help is you give it, you know, you just David Icke with his show, you just demand the money. You say, if you want to keep this going, you have to keep it going.
Yeah, of course, the danger is they tune into something else, you see. I mean,
yeah, but then that's what happens, doesn't it? That's the point. You're not going to charge them to do it. You're just saying, look, give us it. You're not going to stop them from seeing it anyway. But most people are quite fair and nice in that respect. Going to be like, I like watching this show, and if they can't do it anymore, I'm not going to get to watch it. So I'm going to give them a small amount of money.
Yeah,
I think you can do it, and I think if you get a couple of decent-sized sponsors, I'm pretty sure if someone like Peter Thiel found out about this channel, he would contribute to it. It's right up his alley. It's the kind of thing he likes. He doesn't want any government. He doesn't want any taxes. He wants nothing like that at all. And he was at the Bilderberg Group, basically telling them that. So if he found out about this, he would back it, and he's a billionaire. I'm sure he would.
Okay, well, maybe we need to be sending out those emails.
Yeah, I think so.
So what is the short-term, concept? To try to target? Are we going to cold emails people that we think are going to be interested, or are we going to?
Yeah, I think Brock Pierce right now should send us 50 bitcoins just because he loves us, just because he thinks we're cool, and we're the only ones.
Yeah. Is he actually relatively successful? Because I've seen him on the show a couple of times, hasn't he?
Brock Pierce.
Yeah.
The child actor. No, he's never been on the show. He's more than welcome to come.
Let's start with more like Patrick Byrne or the Winklevi.
Would be amazing.
Patrick, because Patrick Byrne has, he's libertarian. He has philosophical views. He's an interesting person.
So we're just going to go with
the. You weren't here, Tom. I think Peter Thiel as well would be well up for this. It's right up his alley.
I think Patreons. I think patrons are a great way to go about doing this. There's someone who just pays us money and says, you know what, say what you want. You have complete editorial freedom. I'm paying you because I believe in what you're doing. Because I don't think that anyone else is doing what we're doing, which is just telling the truth, which is just saying what we see in front of us and not editorializing ourselves and not censoring ourselves.
Yep. So to take that to the step, tell the truth. To say we need money to keep doing this. Just keep that narrative going. Look, we need the money. Give us the money.
Mm-hmm.
Just be audacious about it.
Yeah.
If they're going to say no, they're going to say no. Just be audacious. Just ask. Just demand.
There's this whole Western thing. You're not allowed to ask for money or mention money or involve it in your art.
We don't want to
just
let's change that.
Yeah, but we don't want to beg people,
No, don't beg. Demand. It's different.
Okay, so should we just do this on Twitter, publicly? Hey, Brock Pierce. Support us.
Well, we're doing it right now. This is public. We can.
Yeah, I know, but I mean more directly public.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Twitter is a pretty big avenue for that. It'd be like, hey, Overstock guy. I always forget his name. Don't you want to? Aren't you giving out money to the Bitcoin community? Why don't you, support some real news? We just covered Hong Kong live stream. We do weekly shows. It's totally real. What I don't know what else there is to say really. You only are on Twitter. You only have a few characters anyway. That's enough, right?
Yeah, I mean, for something like that, you'd have to get a warm introduction, like someone that he knows would have to talk to him, and then, he'd have to be kind of warmed up. I mean, the idea is that we've been trailblazing this because we're having all our meetings out in the open. They all go out on YouTube. Most of them, or at least the important shows, I timestamp in the blockchain, and I put on, anything I feel like is historical and needs to be notarized. And that's accountability, that's transparency, that's doing what you believe in, not just talking about it, not raising money first, just getting on with it. This is proper lean. This is what lean should be if it wasn't dressed up to be something else.
Yeah, but we still need money.
Yeah, sure. Well, what you need is what it buys you. And I think the question is, what would happen if we started starving? And it's like, no, I don't believe the community would let that happen. I think that eventually it's just a question of how close.
Become more attractive.
Yes, and then we would get more views.
Then we get more views.
But yeah, maybe I need to get. We should lift on the show and get really chiseled faces.
Okay, so someone has to starve to death on the camera. That's established. Who wants to do that?
Yeah,
what,
sounds
chiseled
like
faces?
Volunteering already.
Who's taking the hit for the team?
I mean, if someone donated like $700 to this Bitcoin address, I'd buy a two-way ticket to Coins in the Kingdom. I'd go there, I'd shoot video all weekend, I'd interview people and talk to people and do all that stuff. But right now, I don't have the money to do that, and it seems unlikely that I'm going to do that. Additionally, if someone wanted to sponsor me to go to the Vegas convention this weekend, I'd do that. That'd be a little closer. But I think Coins in the Kingdom is going to have better people and be more fun. But, you know, if we had money, we could do these things. We don't have money, we can't do these things. I just paid all my bills for the month, so I have another month of minimums on my credit cards. And let's party on. Time to party now, right?
Yep. I think a couple of key sponsors is what does it for the next few months, allowing us to establish a proper baseline of profits. I think that's the goal. I think that should be the goal. That's how I would do it.
Okay, I think that sounds really reasonable. So, how are we gonna target them? Are we gonna, you know, who has a good Rolodex?
I think we should be like Kafka's starving artist. So in Kafka's short story, The Starving Artist, a guy gets in a cage, and the people come along and they watch him in the cage, and then eventually he dies. And then they take him out of the cage and they replace him with a panther, or whatever it is, I can't remember. And then the show goes on, and it's like he had his time, he went in the cage, he entertained the people, and life went on. And then he died. So that's what I think we should do. No,
okay, so who's dying? Who's dying? I'm for that. That sounds great.
In the short story, because Kafka's like this depressive guy, like he's.
But let's bring it into the 21st century. Let's blow someone up. That's much better. We'll just blow someone up for money.
Could do.
No, they have to blow themselves up.
I mean, like a beheading. We could do a beheading live.
Oh, dude,
I mean,
this is going to the
they have to
Come on.
That's key.
I mean, it would be a joke, but maybe it could look real, you know.
No, that's not even funny. I don't even know what you're thinking right now.
Yeah, you went too far there. That was.
Well, you guys were talking about killing people.
We can't edit this out either.
No.
Oh, unbelievably insensitive. No, let's just send some emails out to some rich people going, you're going to pay us because you want to. And you're going to enjoy
let's get back on topic with literary references. We could also be like Sarouan's story, The Daring Young Man on the Flying Trapeze, about a writer who just starves to death, and he keeps writing the whole time, and he just keeps starving at the death. The hunger gnawing at the writer's body presumably accounts for the randomness of his thoughts. Aware that his strength is slipping away, he set out to look for work, fortified as many days with only coffee and cigarettes. Ooh. He finds a penny in a gutter and speculates on its possible use. Oh man, it's so dark. It's so very dark.
So Divine Kel and Tony P on Twitter has now given us an introduction to Brock Pierce. So let's see where that leads us.
Who is this Brock Pierce?
He's good guy,
Thomas,
great guy.
What was the movie he was in? The White House movie? What was that called?
He's in First Kid, and he was in the Mighty Ducks movie. He's now on the Bitcoin Foundation board. It's a very serious position. You wouldn't want any conflict.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. He was the clean member of the board invited to replace the disgraced Mark Carpelas and the disgraced Charlie Shrem. So he's cleaning up the Bitcoin Foundation board.
And whilst he's cleaning that, he can be sending us some money to keep it real. Soumitra is saying it's getting depressing. Okay, let's not make it depressing. We did actually have other stuff on the agenda too. But yeah, I like this idea of getting patrons. We could probably be doing more to advertise the network, to be honest. We probably haven't really done enough. And it's not like I'm not getting inbound interest with people wanting to appear on shows. It's just that I don't want to help people promote their products on my shows. Like, I was happy to get Rianne on, but that's because Rianne is a friend of mine and because I really like what she's doing, not because I want to sell anyone anything.
Okay, so one of the things we could do is post every show onto our Bitcoin. Now, they're going to give us tons of negative comments. They're going to hate what we're doing.
We shouldn't really be doing that. Like, that's not up to us to put it on there. It's up to other people to put it on there. Like, if Soumitra wants to put it on there, as an audience member who likes
it as an option, like, he's going to consider it.
Okay, so you put it on, you get bad comments, but what's the plus side? Yeah, I suppose
You get search engine optimization. There's a bunch of websites that read that site and clone it. You also get a bunch of hits with the negative comment. And some people probably actually like it, but they just don't say anything. It's negative people that are the loudest.
So I also have another idea as far as that goes. I found there's several plugins on WordPress. I don't have any of them off the top of my head, but there's more. And what it does is you just can in the widget area, it makes it so it shows like the latest video in a small form and like 4 under it. So people that are friends of us, maybe if they have a website, they would be friendly enough to just put the World Crypto Network in their widget on their site, and it automatically updates. So they don't have to do anything. It just sits there on the side of their site on the widget. You know what I mean? And then the latest videos get updated, and it's just more. It's just on more sites. You know what I mean? And that just automatically. I mean, I'm sure someone of the viewers or whatever have websites, and maybe they would just put it on their little side widget, and it would just it's no work really for them. It's just, and it's even content for them really, because if people have videos on the websites, people stay on the websites longer usually. So that's also one little thing. I have to look for the exact one that was working well, but that's just an idea. That we could ask people to do that. What do you guys think?
Sounds good, Jim. That will increase ad revenue then? Is that the point of it?
It would increase ad revenue. It would just increase traffic to the whole channel.
Okay.
So just actively ask people to link to the YouTube channel, basically. But in this form, they get to show the videos too.
What I quite like about our growth curve at the moment is that it's authentic people that are tuning in, and we are getting new people. So the 3 main activities that a business engages in, they're either making money, saving money, or they're increasing their awareness. So what Theo is talking about is bang on the money. We definitely need to be increasing awareness, as long as, from my point of view, as long as it's the right people that are tuning in, because that will only make us stronger in any case. And so definitely we need to do that. And then Soumitra is saying in the chat room, what about Start Join? Now Start Join would be cool because it's connected to Max Kaiser. Max has been good to us. I mean, of course, I don't think he'd want us on his show because it might be competing with Russia Today, but we could
Well, I'm on Start Join, and I just have been posting, not everyone, but I've been posting a few of the videos in my feed. And since there's not so many people on there anyway that are doing that, I think it gets noticed already. You know what I mean? Start Join is also like a social network. It's not only a crowdfunding. So when you have an account there, you can also just post something. It's just like Facebook a little bit, And so I've been posting sometimes when we have, like I posted the BBC thing, or I don't know, like some of the Bitcoin groups or something really interesting. Maybe I should do the Hong Kong one. I don't post every one because it's kind of spammy.
Yeah.
But if there's like a highlight, then I go there and I post it too, because I think people will notice it. So that's like, we can also think about, okay, are there other like social networks where we're active in? We have to hit them all up. I even started doing. I use Facebook just to keep track of like old friends. I haven't been logging in very much, but I actually posted a few videos lately. So even though it's annoying, it's our own advertising for the whole channel,
Yeah. And things like the BBC, I mean, it's also on the agenda as well to talk about the BBC thing, and we got a lot of respect for that. Like posting that up, a lot of people were like, "That's really good what you did." And I want to do more of that. I want to definitely be breaking taboos and exposing full-blown interviews, putting stuff in the blockchain. At the moment, Bitcoin SG. By the way, what is Bitcoin SG's name? Does anyone know?
I have no idea.
He says he wants to be anonymous, so he's like one of those people.
Okay. So he's been challenging my idea about the blockchain camera recently, which has been really cool. So we could, we could end up like becoming a place where people discuss a lot of these ideas with the view to putting them into practice in a real life business, like the World Crypto Network. So for me, it would be timestamping my videos by announcing the Merkle route at the beginning of the video, timestamping it within 10 minutes of it being finished, and that way there was no opportunity for me to have corrupted the file or to have edited it, that kind of thing. And I think that can actually lead the way in setting new journalistic standards. If more journalists got into the habit of timestamping their full material into the blockchain and actually giving rise to this thing called participatory journalism. These ideas came about in late 90s, and I remember I was there at the time, and I remember reading, it was like Slate magazine, I can't remember which magazine, Salon magazine, where the term open source journalism was first used, and these ideas just kind of fizzled out. Nobody really embraced them, in spite of the fact that the core activities that a lot of the cypherpunks were talking about was happening, but it was happening independently. It was happening on its own in these forums and in these chat rooms, but nobody was there to really nurture it. Nobody was going up to these people going, do you understand what you guys are doing? Do you understand the importance of what you're doing? If you just had a bit more rigor, rather than just like sending around these random JPEGs, which could be of anything, and often a lot of this stuff is fake that they end up perpetuating. Actually, if you incorporated timestamping, actually if you had some kind of wiki situation, there would be a lot more journalistic integrity to what you're saying, and this could be very, very powerful, because where the Fourth Estate gets its leverage from is its framing of the narrative, is the way in which, before the journalist turns up, they already decide what they're going to say. They've already got what's known as the angle. So when you get an email from a journalist from a mainstream network coming to interview you, it will actually say in the future tense, you will say this. Then we'll ask you this, and you will say that. They literally say that in their emails. They don't even understand how corrupt that they are. That's why they don't mind putting it in an open email. They don't realize what they're doing. Yeah. But what they've essentially done is they've decided what they're going to say before they get there. It's not a learning exercise, because they're running a business, remember. They've got profit margins to make. They haven't got time to be learning anything when they get there. They've got to go in, get out, job done. And then the public just see this finished result as if it's the truth, and it's not the truth. And so if we can kind of pioneer, sorry, I'm going off on one here, but I do think this has gravitas, and that makes us more attractive to a patron, to somebody. Yeah. To say,
I understand that, but it's all about the burn rate for me. It's how much you need to get there, and then we need to get that amount of money. Then when we've got there, then you have the sustainable business. It's just about burn rate and flame out, Yeah,
we should do a short promotional video promoting what you're talking about, having a little explanation.
Exactly.
Yeah. A little explanation of the Hong Kong thing and just what we've been doing. Try to get a little 3-minute video together. Maybe people will realize what we're up to.
Now, speaking of Hong Kong, we have James joining us from Hong Kong. James, can you hear us?
Hey.
Hello. How is it going?
Hear me?
Yeah,
everyone.
There's maybe a bit of a delay.
Hi. Yeah. Great.
Are they still censoring him?
How is it going, James? How are you feeling?
It's going well. I'm tired.
I bet you are.
But things settled down, and people just started sleeping outside. So that's when I came home. So the mood was quite tense around 11:30, because that was approaching the 12 o'clock deadline. So I'd actually watched your show once I got connected again. So you were right. Some of the things were happening. They did wear the gloves. The helmets were on the side, and they clearly were walking up to the barricade, and they had their hands on the barricade around 11:30. And that's when the guy started speaking on the loud phone to get ready. If you have your goggles, and they also had like clear wrap that we wrapped around our arms if we had short sleeves. So that's what was going on. He was just announcing to get ready in case anything happened. And the deadline had passed, and since we didn't get the resignation from our chief executive by midnight, there's a small group that decided to escalate things, and they ran onto a highway where the cars were still running because it wasn't blocked or occupied. So that was really, really dangerous. So the police were saying to those people on the highway, so not us, they told people on the highway to please get off the highway, that it was really dangerous for them. And once they just ignored that warning and it grew from 4 to about 40 people, they started threatening that they would take action. And at that point, people got really, really nervous. And no one was sitting down. Everyone was up and getting ready. They had their backpacks on just in case, they had to run. And but luckily, there was a bit of a compromise because time had passed and the police hadn't taken any action. The group that was on the highway decided to give one lane back. So that's why we were controlling the traffic, as you saw in the footage earlier. So not only are we becoming feeding our own people, now we're controlling traffic. So we have become our own anarchy little state. We are our own government right now.
Interesting. That's kind of cool, but it's really
And that's how things.
Go ahead.
And that's how things de-escalated, because we gave them that one lane, and they saw we were controlling the traffic really well, and I think they were in shock as well. And I actually smiled at one of the cops at that point, and he actually smiled back. So and then people started to sleep, and then now I'm home. So things are calm again.
Yeah, wow, amazing. Well, it's so great that you've been able to get that footage and you've been taking some real risks as well, and you were assaulted. And did you get, what happened to your phone in the end?
So they seized my phone as evidence because I got damaged. But I really wanted it back because there's so many good things on that phone. But they said I would risk it in court that it was tampered, the evidence was tampered with, the chain of evidence. I said, you know what? Couldn't give a fuck at this point. Get a new phone. So I actually brought it with me, and it's it's all dented up and scratched, and so it's a Revolution phone. It's battle hardened, so keep that as a souvenir.
Great.
That's very cool, James, and we're glad to hear you're safe.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely. Definitely.
We do have breaking news right now. I want to go ahead and go to this. This is from the New York Times. J.P. Morgan Chase says that more than 76 million accounts compromised in cyber attack. So your bank accounts are not safe. This is the era of Bitcoin. Google News is going nuts on this. It just happened maybe 10 minutes ago or so. So I just wanted to put that in. Chris, what do you think?
It's only going to get worse.
And of course, America is generally freaking out about the possible Ebola outbreak in Texas. There is a patient 0 that has entered Texas, and there's now 80 people that may be carrying it. So pretty freaky stuff, but this cyber attack thing is definitely related to Bitcoin. Once again, banks are not safe.
Do these accounts use two-factor?
Not by my experience. None of my banking or credit card accounts have more than the simple username and password. So I'm pretty sure
they're creating two factors for about a year now, so it's just a matter of time after the Apple incident. These hacking incidents or cyber attacks are just the speed is increasing from months to weeks, and could be, as Chris said, it could be days coming up.
And they keep getting bigger. It was okay to say Target, Home Depot, Michaels. These are businesses. They don't focus on security. This is a bank. They should be very much focused on security. And if they can lose something this big, presumably they got hacked. Someone got their list from the inside. I don't think this is a brute force issue. But yeah, 76 million households and accounts. They earlier said that it was only 1 million. when they disclosed it in regulatory findings. Let's see. It was not discovered till July. Second time in 3 months.
Well, not to deviate off the topic of the show too much, but yeah, I would say that you've got a huge problem at the moment in the consumer banking market because consumers expect banks to pick up the bill when they lose money. And this is part of the education problem that we have, and it's one of the things I'm trying to address on this network is to help people take more responsibility for their finances and their wealth management and stop trying to outsource it to a third party.
That's the opportunity we have. That
Yes.
people take more responsibility. I mean, it's also a lot of work, more work, but that's the thing. Then you don't have to wake up in the morning and hear that, you know, JP Morgan lost your money or and you know, lost all your data, which is maybe even more valuable than the money you had in the bank, depending on how much money you had. You know, because they're just idiots and they're a centralized system. And, you know, they care more about funding terrorists than they do about, you know, taking care of your data and your funds.
Yeah. So I think that's the opportunity, but I think as a result, our profit can't be measured financially. It has to be measured in the people, in the civilization that I think that we're giving rise to. I don't think you can measure it with KPIs and charts and graphs. I think it's measured in the way people feel.
I also think that, and I know this from third parties and people who work in banks, and they've told me that this kind of thing has happened a lot in the past, but they've never had to declare it before. They just have to cover it up. These hacks have been happening for at least 5 years of that. I know that people have been telling me about them. Oh, we had this happen to my bank and we done this, and I know this for a fact. And they were, but since they're now even more regulated, they can't get away with just covering it up anymore. But the amount of hacks and the amount of ghost transactions, they call them, that happens and they just ghost over it, it's huge. It's huge, and they're just going to hear more and more of it because it happens all the time. Because the hackers are 4, 5, 6 steps ahead of them. You're going to hear more of it. But it's not because more of it's happening. It's because they're getting caught more. The regulatory, because he said that it was 1 million, and then when the regulatory got involved, it was actually 76 million. That's what they do. They downplay it or cover it up completely.
Yeah.
So you're going to see more and more and more.
Yes, quite. Okay, so moving on. We also had a request from Soumitra, who's with us in the chat room. I don't know what time it is for you, mate, but it must be very early hours in the morning in India, because you're 5 hours ahead of the UK, and it's midnight here, 1 o'clock. And let's just pull up his requests. Quite an old request now, but we haven't had a meeting in two or 3 weeks. So on the town hall meeting number 5, the possibility of a new logo has been articulated now I did not see any, so let's create some stuff. And so he's suggesting some, like, you've got some like open source stuff like the Bitcoin logo. Let's click on some of these links, see what he's talking about. Oh, like the Ubuntu font family. Oh, that could be kind of cool. So kind of keeping it with the open source vibe. That could be actually kind of nice. That's a really good idea. I like that. So what do you guys think about the logo? Because yeah, if we're going to get a new website, we probably do need to get like a professional logo done. Oh, you're muted, Theo.
That's all right. Show me the logo again, please.
Oh, of the World Crypto Network, is that?
Yeah, I was of course multitasking. I was listening though, so
World
I'm still here.
Network. That one. So.
Okay, and do we have a new one already, or?
No, but it's just been suggested, like the ideas.
Yeah, sure. I think last time we said if somebody has a proposal, then they can, you know, show it to us, and we can decide, you know, what's the best one. I mean, you could make it vector or whatever, so you can make it, you know, all the sizes, and you can make, then we can have, you know, make apparel and all that kind of stuff if we really want.
Just commit them to our GitHub repo, and we'll have a look at them. just whatever you do, just put them straight in there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And if you and of course, I mean, I didn't tip him a lot. I mean, I tried to tip him for doing all the transcription. Of course, whoever gets makes a cool logo will get a bunch of tips from us. I'm sure, especially if it's really cool. So those people don't have to worry about that. But
yeah, well, we should probably do a shout out on Twitter and stuff and point everyone to a page. So yeah, I would suggest that we do a shout out on Twitter and then somewhere for people to send their submissions. The problem with Reddit is that there's no kind of attachments. You don't attach anything, so we're just gonna have to find somewhere for people to send them in, I guess.
We could just, as I say, put them straight into GitHub.
Yeah, but not everyone has a GitHub account. That's what we found before when we tried to get people to send contributions there.
That's just crazy talk.
Crazy. I guess they can send them in on Twitter.
Reddit.
Maybe you wouldn't have a GitHub repo.
they could do Twitter. That's okay too. They could just upload it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, I think Twitter's quite a good idea, and then we can just like put them into GitHub and look at them in Reddit and vote on them in Reddit, I guess.
Okay.
imgur.com, Imgur, will let you just upload an
That's
image
true enough.
and copy and paste a link wherever you want.
That is true enough. Yeah, we could do that. But yeah, obviously it does need to be done. So everyone should check out that link is also, it was actually at the top of the agenda, but we don't go through the agenda in chronological order. So that link is in the description below if you want to see Soumitra's suggestion, but I think it is a valuable one. I think we should definitely be doing that. Let's close down some of these windows. And what else was there? That was it, I guess. Yeah, we discussed the Armory wallet. Handling of the BBC, that was what we did. James, do you want to talk about Hong Kong and like going out to Hong Kong and doing a talk out there and stuff like that?
Yeah, actually, I was going to mention about Reddit as well. Someone had tweeted me that there was a Bitcoin subreddit where people wanted to donate to the Occupy Hong Kong movement, and I'd actually browsed through the comments, and there were people who wanted to donate, and then there were people who were saying, don't donate, it would be bad for the students, because then it would say you've got influence from this country and that country, which we were accused of that. So they're saying that would kind of then make that true. Did you guys have any opinions on that?
Get the money. If the money's there, take it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think Bitcoin is person to person. It doesn't have anything to do with a country supporting you. So I think that's the whole point, that you can send money really quick internationally.
So it's
with
decentralized funding for a decentralized revolution. It sounds perfect.
Exactly.
And this is
I think that's the way. And I think, so that's what I told people on Twitter. I said, if you want to send, it came up in one of the discussions you were in, James, and I said, well, we know James, so you could send to him, but just be careful. We need verified people to send to, because there's always scammers that, try to, use a cause and say, oh yeah, this is Hong Kong. We don't know where that address is really, where the funds are really going, but we know you. And if you know someone, if you would suggest an address, then that would be okay too. You see what I mean? And then that, I think that's a good way to do it, because you're public, we know who you are, and that's a good way. We know the funds would go somewhere useful, and people would know that too, rather than just some random person on Reddit that says, oh, send to this address. I would be really skeptical.
This is the address that James gave me earlier that you set up. So people were asking us on Twitter where they could send donations to help these Occupy Central in Hong Kong, and this is James's address. So send that to him if you want to help support them. And then James, you said that you wanted to do some videos and show like the things that you spent it on, etc.
Right. And so the idea I had was because I had seen what Andreas Antonopoulos had gone through, and he tried to help out with the Newsweek
Yeah.
So he was very open and transparent about it because he had a lot of critics on Reddit saying he'd pocket the money. So I don't want that to happen here as well.
Really?
So,
People actually thought he would do that?
yes. So I don't want that impression here as well. So I had actually suggested earlier that I would actually film, because we don't need food or water, but we do need some medical supplies. Never short of that, or our defense gears. So I figured I could maybe ask the crowd what kind of medical supplies that they would approve. Then I would go and film me buying it and delivering it to one of the medical stations or supply stations, if that would work.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
And
yeah, I think it sounds great. Sounds great.
Yeah.
And
if you go,
that's reminiscent of what Free Aid did during the Philippines typhoon. They filmed themselves purchasing the supplies, splitting them up into packages, and then delivering them. And it was great. It was direct aid. People could tell where their money was going.
and that's what I want to do. I'm going to show it's going to be 100% of the Bitcoin is going to go into 100% of the goods.
Great. Oh, you've all just got a... someone's just paid some money to it as well, so that's cool.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
$5.
Thank you.
Very cool. It's the power of the crowd. It's decentralized revolution.
And you can also use change tip.
Mm-hmm.
You could also just change tip at PR Hacks, and it would also get there. And okay, it wouldn't be on that address, but people know who he is. So
Yeah.
Also, really, it's just if you already have. So I already had a little bit in there, and I just sent it to him because that was just really easy.
What he can do is he can deposit all of the money to that address from ChangeTip.
Yeah, and the other cool thing about ChangeTip is the social factor, because it's also kind of like an advertisement. So if you use the ChangeTip, you can also tag it, and you can like kind of show people that, hey, this is what I'm doing. And that could also, we could try to get it like viral if there's a cause or something like that. I think that's the advantage. That's one of the advantages of that change tip thing that could be kind of useful for stuff like this.
And Chris, I was wondering, would you be free to come to Hong Kong on like maybe the next flight in the next day or two to cover this with
I
me?
think he's talking to me.
Why
yeah,
not?
absolutely. No, he's talking to me, Chris. Surely, definitely.
Both of us. Just get on
Both
a
of
plane.
you.
If they let me over the border, yeah, they might detain me.
No, you should definitely go.
That would be really fun.
I've got to record Vitalik tomorrow evening at the Ethereum meetup if anyone has sent me any money. But if nobody's sent me any money, then I might just go anyway.
All right, so you'll be here probably by Sunday, which will be a big day.
God. If I just agree to this and I'm going to timestamp my own commitment in the blockchain, it's a long way, dude. It's like, my God, it's halfway around the
No
world.
pressure. Think it over.
I've got to think
But
it over.
don't take too long.
I don't need a visa, do I?
No, you're English.
No.
That's right, I am.
Yeah.
It's like I've come to take it back. Only joking, only joking. All right, nobody get out. Everyone calm down. Everyone calm down. There's no need to go like, oh.
Keep your shoes on, Dimitri. Keep your shoes on.
I haven't come to take anything back. I'm just here
Bring
to sit
some
down and
protection
talk.
gear.
Who's that guy that's going around with the yellow umbrella? Because he was born in Hong Kong, but he's obviously British by heritage, and he actually went to the Communist Party headquarters where they were having their celebrations on the 1st of October, or day before yesterday, with a yellow umbrella right through the lobby, and he didn't get arrested. That's incredible. The nerve of the guy. I mean, I love it, but the nerve of the guy. Did you see that, James?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about here.
There's a guy.
There's so many. Yeah.
He's got the yellow umbrella, and he's been going around. He's been making some media appearances, and he's born in Hong Kong, but obviously his heritage is from the British Empire in Hong Kong, and so he was walking around the communist headquarters in Beijing with this umbrella, and it's like, dude, you have got some kahunas doing that, because like
They didn't shoot him.
no. That is impressive.
Wow. Actually, there was one big development that's been happening over the last 2 days. I would love your opinion on, which is there has been an attempt by local politicians to hijack the student movement. So they're grabbing the mic saying, "We're in charge. We're here to take over," and everyone just flat out rejected them. And but they have been trying for the last 2 days. Why does that happen?
Why do they try to
take over?
Infiltrate?
Yeah, when the politicians try to take over the student movement rather than let the students run it.
Because they want power.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, they really know what the people want. This is amazing. I want to, be in charge of this thing. How can I insert myself into this whole game, and that's how they think. They're like, okay, I got to insert myself. How can I spin this so I can, get more votes or whatever? And that's just, they want to have the pulse of the people, and they're like, oh, I got to have my picture taken at these events. And it would be really good if I had my picture taken with a microphone in my hand at this event, because that would look really good for the future, and then it would be documented that I'm part of this whole thing. I don't know. That's what I think. I think they're just thinking about the future, because think about in like 3 months' time, and this politician is running against another politician, and this guy can show, and if it turns out that student vote is really important, or that he needs the support of the students, and he can show a picture of him during the protest, and the other guy doesn't have such a cool picture, that could be a really big factor for him. He's probably thinking about public image and a lot of things like that.
Just being a politician.
Exactly. And people shouldn't give these guys so much credit at the protests. I don't know how organized it is, or if everybody gets an equal say in the megaphone and all that.
Pretty much an open mic.
Yeah, well, that's okay if everybody gets if it's truly open and people and a normal guy or a girl can talk after him for a similar amount of time, then it's okay. But if it's just like, oh, this is the known politician guy, he gets 10 minutes, and the next guy gets cut off because he's just an average Joe, then that's not okay. You gotta regulate that somehow. Regulate, yeah.
So this is Paul Zimmerman. Why I took the umbrella to China National Day in Hong Kong. And I thought he went to Beijing. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he went somewhere else. But yeah, this is him. And he's been carrying around this yellow umbrella. He's been interviewed by a lot of the mainstream media. And he went to one of the official celebrations and just walked right through the lobby with it. And nobody said anything. So there you go. So yeah, I will think about that.
Okay.
We'll have to think about that. But yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to be live streaming another Ethereum meetup. If people can donate to me, I just need to get my train paid for, etc. So we do have Vitalik, who's going to be here, the awesome protege. Is that right? Oh, no, prodigy. He's not my protege. I just want to make that clear. But he is a prodigy. And so he's going to be talking.
Does he want to donate?
Does he want to donate? Well, it's not like he hasn't got the money.
He can afford it.
Right, exactly.
He's telling everyone to cut back on their spending, though, apparently. So I'll be asking him about that.
Party's over. Pizza party's over. Now it's serious. Now you've got to, bleed your eyes out coding, and you only get paid minimum wage now.
Yeah.
And it's over. So,
clear.
Right, yeah. But hey, why not? He could, right? If they have enough, it would be, really good advertising for them, theoretically, if they were said, we're a patron of World Crypto Network, then, that's real reputation.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Okay, well that's it. We've nailed all the agenda. We talked about Hong Kong. We can carry. I would love to do some more videos. I want to do of Hong Kong and stuff with James as well. I think it's been very enlightening and been really good to get somebody on the ground there.
Thanks.
We've learned a lot, and you've taken a lot of risks for us, and I just want to say thank you again for that, because It's a big deal, man. It's a really big deal.
Thanks, and we want to thank you for your support as well. I've been showing everyone the messages, and they were surprised how international and decentralized the network is. They were like really surprised how everyone's from a different country, and so I was actually talking to Bitcoin about them because sometimes we have some downtime, and during that time we've been actually talking about Bitcoin.
Cool.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, Bitcoin was made for this kind of thing. It's exactly what it's made
we
for.
kind of linked the conversation to how it's related to the decentralized movement that we were in.
And most of the task you've got ahead of you now is a PR task. It's actually the perception of how this comes across to the world media. That's what you're both competing on. I mean, in terms of China and these protesters, you're
That's
both
exactly it. I think that's exactly it. That's the whole point. You know, because nobody is really, you know, covering the real story on the ground, or maybe some people are, just like you are, James. But there's not enough of that. It's all really filtered out, and you know, you only get, you know, accusations. It's like this, or it's like this, and the real story isn't being told. Really, you know.
Actually, speaking about the real story, I bumped into some independent journalists who were making a documentary. So the story might actually get told in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Not right
That's
now, but I
interesting,
think
yeah.
that,
Great. Yeah, that is interesting. So we'll see what happens. I hope that, you know, doesn't get too violent or something from the police. You know, we just have to see what's going to happen.
I would love to see the police like down their arms and like say, actually, you know what, we're not taking these orders anymore.
Well, the best suggestion on Twitter, what was it? Give the police chocolate.
That's a good idea.
Well, it was like
I was
Always being censored again.
when I was at the station, though, someone had brought. Oh, every time we talk about this. So when I was at the station, I saw someone bring a big fruit basket to bring to the police officer, and they actually said we can't accept food or edible things. You can bring us flowers, but you can't give us anything to eat because you know they know someone might poison the food.
Ah, yes. Well, give them so many flowers that they've got to spend all their time like trying to decant them and put them into vases and like. They'll spend so long putting these flowers into vases, they won't have any time to like do their jobs. That's what you do. You literally overwhelm them.
Yeah.
It's like a
would
flower
be
DDoS.
that would make one of the greatest media pictures. You know, the police are so busy putting flowers away that they can't do their normal job. I mean, that would be a really funny. It would probably be hard to get that many flowers, you know, ready, but it would be really funny, a really funny picture, you know.
Yeah, we've got to do that. We've got to get a bunch of yellow tulips. How apt would tulips be? Bunch of yellow tulips, like, and I'm talking serious numbers. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of tulips, and we're going down there and we're saying, please, just take these, please, from us.
All right, Chris, I'll make you a deal. If you come to Hong Kong, I'll let you post tulips on the donation board, and you can see thousands of tulips come in within an hour.
Wicked.
And we'll deliver it to the police.
Yeah, I'll give a tulip donation if you go. I'll give some Bitcoin to buy tulips.
Tulip mania.
That's amazing. Yeah, we should just give the police a whole bunch of flowers so they don't know what to, they literally are going to be like, we've got to decant these into vases now. Like, what you've got to do is you've got to give the police plausible deniability to their bosses, right? They've got to be able to turn to their bosses with diplomatic cover to say, we had no choice, boss. Like, we couldn't follow the orders they gave us. What were we meant to do? What were we meant to do? So we just ended up, you know, putting these things.
Right. Oh, you know what? The line's really clear now. So I might just tell you guys the things that I actually wanted to tell you, the sensitive things I'd actually heard when I was at the station. So, as you know, I was assaulted by this Chinese person who came to disrupt our stand, and the police came and arrested her. And I'd spoken English the whole time, so they didn't know that I actually know Cantonese. So when I was at the station, I could actually overhear what they were saying, and they kind of just felt like I wasn't there. And they were actually really demoralized. I heard the word OT, which basically means overtime, said really grumpily over and over by everyone. I mean, they're just sick of having to do overtime and overtime. And the mood is generally down. And while we were in the van, on the way to the station, one of the detectives was actually speaking to me about asking me why I came to the protest, and I had mentioned that video of the elderly person being pepper sprayed by the police officer while the elderly person was walking away, and his supervisor could hear that I was telling him this story or this fact, and he immediately told him, "Don't talk to him," and he cut us off. And then the team still wanted to talk to us, like, "Can we talk about something else?" And he goes, "Yes." So they're actually not letting them talk to us about the protest or anything about the events that's happening right now. So when I was in the hospital, another police officer who was working there actually said he had a message for us. So he took me somewhere private where he knew no one else would be watching, and asked me to give a message to the volunteers. He said, "Could you tell them that I have a family, my wife's from Hong Kong, I'm from Hong Kong, my kids are from Hong Kong, we're with you, the majority of us are with you. It's the people upstairs are the ones that are kind of holding us back and not letting us show or act in the way that we want to." So they said they're behind us and support us. And just a few hours after he said that, in Central, or in Wan Chai, somewhere on the island, a police officer took a police van on his own. So normally a police van has at least 2 or 3 cops, right? But this guy just took a van on his own, and he took it to the middle of the rally, took the blowhorn from the policeman and said, "I'm a Hong Kong police officer." And he also said something about his wife and kids are here, and that his whole family and the rest of the police force are behind us. And the crowd, some people in the crowd started tearing up and crying, and that was really a emotional moment, the other night, where relations seemed to be repairing. Obviously, it all soured again today when the bullets, the pictures came up. But so it's really been, the mood's really been on and off, good and bad relations. It's just been so up and down.
Wow. So how do you really feel that if we gave them diplomatic cover, that means that, we could give them a plausible way out from their bosses, that this could be a way of doing it, because that's where the power comes from these rulers, is the people that serve them. But it sounds to me like these people also have dependencies, they've got kids, they've got families to support. Same in London, right? All of these people that go to these incubators, accelerators, and they take part in the grand Ponzi scheme. It's not that they want to do bad things, it's just that they've got dependencies and they've got things they want to do. So is there a way we can give these people a way out?
If you can think of a suggestion, I'd be more than happy to try and implement it here.
Okay, that sounds like something I
Being
can...
from one of these accelerators, it's not always the case. I'm not going to do bad things. If they tried to make me do bad things, I wouldn't. There's good people in what you may class as bad areas and bad parts of the world. That doesn't. It's not as black and white as that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. Every cop is a possible deserter.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember that. So all the cops, every cop is a possible deserter to the other side. It's just a matter if they're able, if that window is still open to them somehow. It's not always easy. So some of the cops might even be thinking about that they really sympathize, but they can't figure out a way. It's not really, because of the way it's militarized, that it's not really easy to just go over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So also people need to remember that it's not easy to remember, because they're sitting on the other side with weapons and threatening you with violence, of course. But on the other hand, everyone needs to keep that in their mind. Maybe it could be a slogan that you could like show them. You know, you could desert. You could go home today. Just put down your weapons. You know.
Also, it's worth noting that whenever the priests or army take over, it never ever ends well. Because they only know one thing: violence. So that's what they bring with their takeover every time. Yeah. Egypt started that way and it ended horribly, and it just goes back and back and back, and you see it every single time.
Yeah, that's true.
They're so conditioned for violence; it's the only thing they know, I believe. Unfortunately.
And you can actually drop these things, bitcoins, instead of bombs. Drop bitcoins, not bombs. All right. Well, guess we should start to wrap up. So we're going for a very long time, one of our longest town halls, I think, that we've done. But James, thanks so much for joining us at the end there. That was really good to see you. Let me have a think about that. I'm going to go sleep. It's the middle of the night here. Thanks to everyone else. Thanks to Theo. Thanks to Tom. And, of course, Chris McCready, who's been very kind in lending us all of his time and his expertise to help us with the new World Crypto website. So you can follow us on Twitter.
And a quick plug, we've got World Crypto Network book club coming up tonight at 7 o'clock Pacific time. That's just a couple hours from now. We'll do part 2 of Neuromancer. If Nick's around, hopefully Nick's around. So, World Crypto Network book club.
Cool. Stay tuned for that. Yeah, and we're at World Crypto Net on Twitter. You can follow me at Mr. Chris Ellis. Thanks very much for your time, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.